Slip sliding away. You know, the nearer your destination, the more you slip sliding. Welcome, friends. How you doing? Episode 11, and I covered plastic accessories that you didn't really need on your skateboard, and volume 10 of the Hateletters, and I'm going to cover today plastic accessories on your ramp that you don't really need that have pretty much been replaced. We don't deal with polyvinyl chloride conduit piping anymore, and that's basically a fancy word for PV slick. PVC coping, which I don't know who came up with the idea, probably because you could bend it really easy and apply it to your ramp or whatever you wanted to do, but it was just awful stuff. There wasn't a grind. It was just no noise, nothing. Nothing could suggest anything. I don't. Maybe they chose the color white because it looked like pool coping. We'll put it on the ramp. This is before metal. Before anybody goes, you know what? Well, we're going to use metal conduit, or we're going to use metal pipe. Because you can't really. There's just no reason. You're going to fall. All kinds of weird stuff can happen, like when you're using PVC coping. And I remember on my ramp, we built it, and the first coping we had was PVC. Because I basically designed my ramp off another ramp that was in Havelock. And that ramp had PVC that was cut in half, and then laid up, and then you just nailed it there, so you had to deal with the nails. This is before we really kind of countersunk things. So it was bad. My ramp, it was good to learn on. You can learn rock and roll slides to fakie, hang-ups, and lip slides and all that stuff, but you can really, really lose control and get hurt, like if you're not careful. I know I did a fakie rock and roll slide and had to bail, and we had like a greenhouse, and it's still there by the ramp, and I just bailed off, and the board just sailed completely like I was still on the board, right off the side of the ramp, and went right in the greenhouse, through the wall, and tore up a bunch of plants in it. And I had to go out there and fix it. So it just was really, really bad. And a lot of skate parks had PVC pipe, on their ramps and everything. It was like I'm trying to think if the Ramp House did in Carolina Beach. Like, we used to skate down there. I know the bowl that they built, that Jim Reese built, where we used to we go down there and skate. And I think it had pool coping, and I think there was PVC on the shallow end. I can't really remember. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But you try to do a grind, and doing like a 50-50 around a corner is like really weird anyway, because you got to, you don't know whether your weight needs to be up and down. I tended to want to carve into them and come up and go back down. But you get up there, you feel your board like sliding fore and aft, if you will, and you just ended up just bailing, or whatever. And I've been to some ramps where you would do like a lean to tail, and it just shatters because it's been out there, it's been in the elements, and plastic it gets kind of weak. It gets real weak, like during the winter time. So you go out, you're having a session or whatever, you go up. I did a lean to tail one time on my ramp, hit the coping, and it exploded, like just chunks of plastic were like laying everywhere. I was like, what the hell happened? That was when I decided to go and get metal coping, which we filched from an undisclosed location. But we put it on the ramp, and till the end of my ramp, like, we always had metal out there, but it wasn't galvanized like what we had. So we had to really haul ass into it, to be able to get the grind. But like there were a lot of things, seeing people doing. Well, there were people that had copers on my ramp, that had copers and tracker copers at that we're perfectly happy with it. We'll go plastic to plastic, not metal to plastic. We'll go plastic to plastic. What kind of grind is that? You do a Smith grind, you got a rail, then you got a coper, and then you got the coping, and you just slide. It's just like butter or whatever. But a lot of 80s ramps were like that. Mount Trashmore, when they went to that woven fiberglass, I don't know who came up with that idea. That surface was just god awful. It really was. When they went to that because they had pool coping on that ramp. Like eventually, like in 1995, or no, excuse me, not 95, 85, when they had like the first pro contest there. They had pool coping, and Jeff Phillips was just ripping. Everybody was ripping. All the VB locals, everybody was just tearing it apart. So they go, okay, well, we need a durable surface, so they go and get this stuff, like a fiberglass epoxy type thing, and they put the ramp with it. They didn't leave the pool coping there. They put PVC up there. And we went to a contest. We were watching that, and I mean, people were kind of flailing with it. I mean, you just can't really get any kind of grind going, in PV slick, and you don't really see it a lot anymore. For damn good reasons. So just PVC. I was pretty much glad to see that stuff go.